Hello, you beautiful people everywhere. Welcome to the fifth round of the 3K Legacy coming from Sursee live
Sursee?
with the amazingly beautiful, shiny Matthew. What's up?
Everything perfect. We got an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
And again, such a beautiful and handsome person as you beside me. And even Dave Montwieler with his amazing haircut sitting behind us. Lovely, just really
Such
lovely.
a pretty boy.
Yeah, indeed.
We have on the right Patrick Wild, a very experienced, very methodical player, playing with elves.
Yes.
And on the other side, introduce the player for us.
We have Mr. Tim Stoltenberg, which I have never seen before, but he's on a deck which I'm rather familiar with on Infect. Also rather probably favored against the Elves deck unless they go really nuts by turn 2 or 3.
Yes.
He will probably be in good shape.
Yeah, but definitely both decks very aggressive, very combo-y. Not that much disruption, at least on the side of Patrick with his elf deck. At least not pre-board.
Yeah, a lot
And
of green in this matchup.
a lot of elves already on the board. Is it actually relevant that this is an elf?
No, I don't think. Like in Modern it would be because it gets pumped by like the Archdruid,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. But in Legacy I think the Elves deck is not playing any
Is Archfrid
effect.
all elves? I think
No,
it's
it's
a
not.
new
It's
lord.
Elvish Champion. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Sorry. Yeah. So it's not. It's the Elvish Champion, which would give it Forest Walk, which would be actually quite huge in this matchup. But none of this is played. But anyway, the worst threat from the Infect player in this matchup. So ideally, you want Blighted Agent or Enigma Nexus. So
Yes, for the evasion. And
Exactly.
Listener Elf can get blocked quite easily if there's no Berserk.
yeah. And then, especially, if he finds his bounce dudes, you need a Berserk to get through with the Elf, or you're just pretty screwed.
By bounce dude, he means the what is
Sorry.
it called?
Wirewood Symbiote.
Wirewood Symbiote, which
Or-
can return an elf to untap another creature.
Exactly, and there would also be the Quirion Ranger, where you can return a forest. In this case, you would use a Dryad Arbor to also untap any creature you control.
And I think we have seen a Daze on the side of Tim Stoltenberg, which right away got countered by Deathrite Shaman, being able to untap and tap for another mana.
What did he want to daze there? The Symbiote?
No, I think the Sentinel, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. And there's an Inkmoth Nexus on the hand of Tim
Yeah, he has also
Stoltenberg,
several.
so he's threatening to be lethal quite soon, I imagine. Is that the Blighted Ancient as well?
Yeah, he has two Blighted Agent at least,
Yeah.
which he cannot
And
cast
I don't
now.
think Patrick has anything to interact with that pre-board. Nope, he just needs to be faster. There is no removal on the side of Patrick, and life gain from Deathrite Shaman is
No.
irrelevant as well. There's actually a Reclamation Sage for the Inkmoth. Is Inkmoth Nexus an artifact creature?
Yes, but you would have to get it at instant speed, which
That's
is kind of difficult.
Yes, it is. I'm
So
so
no,
used
no.
to Highlander where you have like instant tutorials.
Yeah.
and
Or
collect
I
a
mean, there could be a
company.
Court of Calling in theory, but this is not
But there
played
isn't.
usually. This is not played usually.
He only has 4 green Sun Zenith and 3 natural order to tutor for creatures.
Yep. There we see the other bounce dude, as I called them. The pair of
bounce
them,
dude.
Wirewood Symbiote and Quirion Ranger. And interesting, before the Infect player attacked with his elf, maybe thinking that the opponent bounces or is kind of scared and double blocks or something, but he just didn't
Took
take the
it.
bait and blocked with his 2/2 to
Yep.
kill the.
And he can simply return it with the Wirewood
And-
Symbiote.
replay it and be
Recast
happy
it,
about
yes.
it.
By the way, on a side note, guys, please try to keep the chat in English so everybody can understand. Have you seen the hand of Patrick? I don't think he has like a glimpse of nature or a
No, else he would have cast it by now, I suppose.
natural order.
He's just going wide on the board, and if he finds a natural order, he will probably win on the spot, unless there's a force of will.
And he's already biting a chunk out of Tim's life total.
Yep. Already down to 15.
Yeah.
There's a force of will, which is really nice.
Yeah, it can stop him from doing a combo win. But as it stands now, the elf player is very likely just going to rely on small creatures to connect.
Yes, I
And
agree.
in fact, almost never blocks anything.
No. No, so I expect the Blighted Agent coming down. Then the question is, does he have to kill
Yeah.
or not?
I question the Daze play even if Daze actually managed to counter, because it sets
Very
him behind
much.
on tempo so much.
Very much.
Especially because Patrick was on the play and he did open with Deathrite Shaman, so he's already ahead on tempo anyways. And we can see that in action, like he's very far behind on tempo.
Yeah.
Theoretically, the Blighted Angel could win next turn, but it's still dangerous.
I agree, and like your main aim is getting down a Nexus and or Blighted Agent in order to start or right away kill your opponent. In this case, so yeah, the
And
Daze.
I don't think he has 2 pump spells. I
don't
think
know.
I saw an Invigorate.
One Invigorate is there for sure, yes. And even the second one, like you need Berserk or
Yeah, or
the
another
Commandments.
Invigorate would be
No, that
enough
wouldn't be lethal. But then he gets another turn.
with the Nexus. He has Nexus
True,
and
yeah,
Agent.
okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I love the small things elves can do. Like return this, return that, untap this, untap that.
Looks like
You just get so
couple
much
of mana, but it's
yeah,
it's massive what
you
you can
get
do.
so much value out of all your cards. And also, interestingly, we're not going to see a Marsh Casualty or Zealous Persecution in sideboard, which I'm sure Patrick is very happy about.
I agree.
There's the natural order, and
He goes for
probably
it.
we're going to see a Force of Will right off the bat. Yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Yes.
No
To stay in
surprise
this
there.
game.
Yes.
I think there's a Berserk as well. I think he has lethal.
Crazy.
Well, you're going to see it in a minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really frustrating,
But
I think, as an
the-
Elves player.
The Force of Will from the top in the brainstorm was quite important.
Yep. One in the game, I would say. Doing some math, Patrick is. Always see he's a player which often like counts with, or like the tipping of with the finger on the,
Yes.
on the field to do the counting.
He does count a lot. It's like not just counting the damage on this turn and the mana, he's counting like 2 turns ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
I know him quite well. He's
Yeah.
very methodical that way.
Going deep.
Yeah.
Going deep. He's also from Zurich, right? Or played a lot in Zurich, at least. I
He-
only saw him on those
He
tournaments.
lived and studied in Zurich for a while.
Right.
I think he's in Graubünden at the moment,
Ah, okay.
where he was originally from, I think.
Okay.
And there's a Zenith.
For the
Interesting.
Riot Arbor, presumably?
It appears he paid.
Yeah.
Is there a cradle in his hand?
And a hoof, maybe?
Or a second order? Which he could play around base, but that would be lethal actually.
Yeah. But he needs Cradle and hoof.
Cradle and Cradle
Natural
and
order.
order.
But yeah, he doesn't have it now.
No, I don't think so.
He just gets in.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. I think he got the Dryad Arbor taking into account all the damage he's going to do in the next 2 turns as well.
Yeah,
Invigorate,
I agree.
probably Berserk, right?
There's the Infect guy.
Yeah.
And he has it.
Berserk Invigorate.
And there's nothing Patrick can do about it, I think.
No, I don't think so either.
Gives him a thought, but
There is no interaction pre-board.
no.
I checked. And Patrick scoops it up.
Scoops it up, fair enough.
All right, so I was already taking a peek at the sideboard from Patrick because that's going to be the deciding factor in this matchup. And he has, from what I can tell, the Abrupt Decays to deal with the Blighted Ancient,
Yes.
the Choke, which are just generally really good. You would agree?
Maybe a bit slow, but they're okay. They're okay.
not slow, it's elves. It's coming down on
You're
the
right.
second turn.
Yeah, you're right. On the play, I agree.
Yeah. And there is the Pithing Needle, which will come in against the...
Nexi.
Yeah. And other from that, I think that this card, he kind of has to board in the Thoughtseize just to get more interaction, but it's not great.
No, but I think you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. And
Either you can take Blighted Agent or an Invigorate or something like that.
Yes. There's only one therapy, right?
Yep.
Because this is usually quite good against Infect.
Yes.
Or that's
Yes. It's probably coming in as well, I think.
Wins. Yeah.
But it's also dangerous to overboard, especially because you don't want to weaken your combo kill, because
you wanna
that's
be
still
fast.
your best bet,
Yeah.
being faster than the Infect player.
That's true.
So there's like, you can take out the few Rangers and the Reclamation Sage for sure. Maybe a Green Sun Zenith or two. Maybe. But other from that, you don't want to overboard.
All right, yeah, and the Infect player I think doesn't really want to board too much. What I usually do is cut a couple of lands, like the Forest. Bring in usually the Wasteland, just because you wanna keep them down as much as possible, and you don't need that many resources to go off. Crop Rotation can come in to find you one of your two wanted threats. Forcible for sure, Philosopher's Storm possibly, because you want to counter Glimpse and Natural Order.
Do you take in the Grafdigger's Cage against Natural Order and Green Sun Zenith?
Yes, I would say yes.
But other than that, you probably don't want to overboard in this matchup as well, because
No,
everything you take out is either like a counter spell or some kind of threat.
yeah, like the Daisies on the draw, I would suggest maybe Library.
Yeah. Stifle isn't great either. Viridian Corruptor probably is
No.
unnecessary.
No, Hydroblast for sure not. But Jukaborg doesn't do anything. Caracas, no. What's Schaefer's Sanctuary? I don't remember the card. I remember looking it up, but
Shaper Sanctuary, I don't know the
it's a
card.
newer one, I think.
Shaper Sanctuary.
Ah, yep.
Green enchantment for 1. Whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Obviously not coming in.
No. All right. So, what kind of hand do you think Patrick needs to win this game?
A good one, for sure.
Really good one. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely want to cast a Mana Dork on the first turn. And you probably need to keep a hand with either a Glimpse or a Natural Order, because I don't think you can ever raise the Infect player if you're just relying on like your normal dudes and Elvish Visionary.
And some disruption, yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you have an Abrupt Decay, you can really catch the Infect player off guard if he's not expecting it, especially.
That's true. Especially like some people board out the the protection spells like Winds of the Vastwood and Blossoming Defense if there is one. And there are only 2 in the main anyway for the Infect player. So you really can catch them by decaying the agent. The other point is that Nexus isn't targetable by decay, so that makes
it's just
the
the
matchup really
agent.
bad as well. Like the elf you don't care about because you can block it all day, and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so let's see. Seems like a hand without Infector, but the Brainstorm and Fetchland and Noble Hierarch, Force of Will, so quite a good hand on the Infect player's hand.
Yeah, but potentially quite slow as well.
Yep.
And on the side of Patrick, we can see 2 Wirewood Symbionts, but not much business. So
No, like three or four lands even, I think.
yeah,
Too much.
yeah, you probably want just 2 fetch lands, or a fetch land and a Cradle.
Yep.
How much does the mulligan hurt the elf player here?
Of course, it depends also on the draw of the Infect player, but I don't think too much. He just needs he needs at least he needs for sure turn 1 play, any Dork or a Thoughtseize, I would say. And then if he has a DK or a Natural Order or something, I think it's good enough. He just needs to have either Disruption or a kill close to a kill something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it obviously hurts because you're potentially losing another elf, and every elf you can get is quite value.
Sure, but it's not like
But
they're getting bolted either.
No, it's not like a grindy matchup where you're just a card behind. So a good 6 is better than an average 7.
Yep.
For sure. And he even keeps the card on top. So I'm hoping we're going to get to see a better game too.
Yes. Yes, it's quite one-sided and
Yeah.
usually game 1, yep.
Yeah. It still was the clutch Force of Will that actually won him the game.
That's very true. That's very true. As he only plays the 3, yes. As the original Tom Ross lists did.
And we get to see a turn 1 play by Patrick. It's either going to be Thoughtseize or I imagine a Monador. And a Death Right. There we go.
Classy
I think
Death
we're going
Right.
to see a bunch of Death Right Shamans on this table.
Yep. Would you Thoughtseize turn 1 there if you had it, or would you wait until?
I think you wait, right?
I suggest, yeah, because the only negative is that he can leave a Brainstorm afterwards, so you don't get to Thoughtseize what you want. But
I think that's fine
so
because
unlikely.
you're going to catch something valuable anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
But you probably want to play the Death Right turn 1. Almost always.
It's just too good.
Yeah, and you really want to get like 2, 3, 4 mana on the second turn. He chose to untap the Death Right, not to activate the Death Right a second time, but rather just return the Bayou to recast the land.
But there wasn't a second fetch.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have a second land at all, which is
Yeah,
why he
yeah,
returned
yeah,
the forest.
So it's
And
not
we
that
see
big
a
of a value.
Green Sun's in it. I'm
Okay.
guessing on Dryad Arbor again.
Yeah. That he can use the Quirion Ranger to most extent, I suggest.
Interestingly, you can return Dryad Arbor with Quirion Ranger.
Yes?
You can block it and return it. It's quite
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. Very useful against Umezawa's GT.
Yeah, or Bather Skull, or a pumped up infect creature without trample damage. If you thought he's first, you can catch one of those few infect creatures.
I agree.
Yes, it's true. It's true, but the only creature you can catch is the elf. And the elf is not the issue. It's the Blighted Ancient and the Inkmoth Nexus, and both can be the Blighted Angel can be caught on the second turn as well, and Inkmoth Nexus can't anyway, so I think you're fine waiting a turn with the Thoughtseize.
Yes.
But that's not what's happening anyways. And Tim opting to daze the Sentinel again. Interesting.
Yeah, this time though it really got countered, and he replays a fetch land, giving his opponent the information that there's at least one more land in hand.
Yes, and also enabling Death Right again. Potentially. A Brainstorm in response to the Elvish Visionary.
Interesting.
Why do you think that is? Does he want to counter the Visionary?
Daze wouldn't even be enough, right? So no, I don't know.
No, Daze doesn't work.
I don't know.
That was really weird timing because he has to expect the discard postboard, right?
Indeed. Indeed. Does he play Spell Snare? No, he doesn't, right?
I don't think he does.
No, not a single.
Quite uncommon to see that as well, right?
Yeah, I agree. But it could be like. Nope, weird. But I think like he planned to play the Brainstorm in his opponent's turn. That's why he played the fetch land that he could fetch away and find his infect threat, which he is still missing currently, I think. And there's a Cradle.
Tapping for 4 currently.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's see if he.
Bam, natural order.
Yeah, but
Let's
there's
go.
a force. I think there's a force in his opponent's hand.
Yeah. You have to play into it eventually anyway.
Yeah, sure. That is for sure. Ooh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. He's got his cantrip
So-
engine online.
Yeah. The way it works, you return the Elvish Visionary with the Wireroot Symbiote, and then you recast the Visionary to draw a card. And Wireroot Symbiote allows you to do it once per turn, but you can also do it in your opponent's turn. So you're drawing 2 extra turns per turn cycle with Elvish Visionary and Symbiote. Maybe he should have forced the Wireroot Symbiote at this point.
That's like when we discussed the Visionary, that's what I was going to say as well. Like,
Yeah.
if he finds the symbiote, yes, I think you can force it. Or if there's a symbiote in play already, then I can see forcing it. But if not, then you don't want to do it. But even at this point, like he's missing a threat, so he's really, like he's super slow currently, and I think you cannot afford to force of will there, because
Yeah.
just anything he finds will kill you then right away. And this way, you at least have the chance that you get to force the first no, and then maybe it takes him another turn or 2 eventually to get the second one to kill you.
Yeah, it's definitely true, but at the same time, forcing the symbiote there gives him the time he requires because he doesn't have pressure.
That is also true. Plus he has a wasteland, I think, and wasting the Cradle looks rather appealing to me, since it's not protected by the, like all other forests, or all forests, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Can slow down the Elvish Visionary engine quite a bit.
Yes. Yes. I see.
I still don't see an infect creature in.
No,
Tim's
I don't
hand.
think he found one. That's another invigorate, right? Yeah.
And there's the wasteland. You called it. Nice.
Yes.
But also, Deathrite Shaman has 2 new targets now, so
That's true.
Deathrite Shaman can produce like 3 mana per turn now.
That's true.
It's the beauty of elves, man. And there we see
There
the
you can
Visionary
see it
going
go
back to
off.
hand.
Untapping, casting
Yeah.
it again, presumably, then bounce it again, untap.
Elves
generate
do
mana.
what elves do.
Yes.
Drawing, untapping, drawing.
Yeah, I love it. Like, this is such a huge card advantage engine, and it's green.
Yeah.
Like, I think there are a couple of very interesting card advantage engine in green. Or
Yeah,
like,
definitely. I'm
which-
sure you mean harmonize, right?
For example, I love the card actually. I really love the
It's a
card.
really cool card.
Used to play it in Dual Commander,
Yeah.
front aggression. Yeah, really. Just feels always good to draw 3 cards, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I love Library, for example.
Yeah.
Or
Library is
Mirror's
good card.
Guile, the enchantment isn't
Mirror's
card
Guile is
advantage.
so cool.
But,
I haven't quite gotten there, but I've been working a while on a rock cascade list that uses Mirror's Guile
yeah, that's actually quite cool.
with Shardless Agent and Bloodbraid Elf and Ancestral Vision.
The full waterfall cascade, you mean?
Yeah,
nice,
man.
nice, 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 nice. Yeah, it's not a very interactive matchup, is it?
Nah.
Just say that. Both players trying to maximize the use of their turns, whereas the elf player can do a lot more there. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, the infect player really needs like quite a fast kill because there's no way he can contain the elf stack.
No.
You're just not the control player in this matchup, not at all.
Yeah, or at least like by turn 3 you need to have one of your 2 good threats in the matchup, or you will probably lose because the elf player outvalues you and pressures you, and you don't do anything. So.
Yeah.
That's good.
There will be a point where it's too late. Like once the elf player has drawn a bunch of cards, he will have like abrupt decay or
I think
a
he has
jaw,
it already. Yeah.
and then it will become hard.
I do agree. Getting in with his 2 bounce dudes. What's that? Egg attacks in probe, I think? Or what is it?
There's this moment in every infect player's life where he's quite desperate and starts calculating his life total of the opponent and to see if he can beat him down with Noble Hierarch.
Well, I
every
do agree.
infect player had this moment.
I agree, and I hope every infect player has killed people with his Noble Hierarch already.
Yes, I have.
The good old 32-16 trample Noble Hierarch coming over. Oh, you have a true name. Oh, beautiful. So good to do that to people, really.
Yeah.
Really good.
Seems like Tim is drawing really badly. Like, still no creature.
Just not finding the threats leads me to the question: do you keep a hand without? I mean, the hand was okay. Don't get me wrong, but in a matchup where it's so specific on the threats you need, do you mulligan a bit more aggressive for them, especially on the draw, or do you say, okay, brainstorm? I got the brainstorm, I got the force. I have a pump spell and the Noble Hierarch, so it's a good on the draw hand. If I find my threat, if not, I obviously just straight out lose.
I think mulliganing. It's certainly not a great keep. I understand why he kept it.
Yeah.
And you also have to keep in mind that taking a mulligan can quite hurt you a lot.
What?
Taking mulligans can hurt you a lot.
And in fact,
Yeah.
no, in this matchup, I feel.
Really?
Yeah, because you need 3 cards. You need 2 pump spells and you need a threat.
Creature. Yeah.
And
Yeah, but potentially you need the force as well, or I don't know.
no, if you're on the draw, but like what was it now? He cast his creator and it got forced. So it
No,
was
I think you're right.
turn 3.
I said earlier that you're the combo player and not the control player in this matchup, so you probably want the creature. I think you're right. Yeah, especially if you're ahead one game
1-0, yeah.
and you're on
You
the
just
draw
wanna-
anyway, Smalingen
Yeah.
hurts less.
You want to draw it out. I mean, of course, you can have a DK, you can have a fast kill, but
Yeah.
like the one kill which is really faster is, I think, the turn 2 glimpse into everything. And then eventually you cross the natural order for a huge crater hoof and maybe one nail sentinel.
Or hard cast.
Or hard cast it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
why
yeah,
not?
sure. Yeah, yeah, sure. It's also fine.
Anything is possible
That's
when you're
also
playing
fine.
elves.
You can go almost infinite.
Yeah.
Have you ever played the deck yourself, Elves?
Elves. Oof. Short answer, yes.
Okay. Same here, I guess. Played
Long
a couple
answer,
of leagues, but no,
I have
really.
played elves in every possible format, and it was actually the first deck I had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't
It
know
was
that.
the first Magic cards I bought were I think it was Legion block, Onslaught block,
Yes.
the elf deck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Pesky little green creatures.
Yeah.
It's nice. I played a lot in Modern.
And it got banned at our kitchen table Magic quite quickly because everybody was playing beasts and kavus.
And Elves was pretty good against that.
Elves was pretty good against them. Amazingly. No, I played in Legacy actually not that much, but I played elves a lot, yes.
Yeah.
And I tested a lot against it as well.
Okay, let's see if we can find this friend. What is it? It's an ancient? No, it's a glistener elf. It's not. I mean, if he has a berserk, it can work, but
Yeah,
he's
but you
on
need
9,
a berserk.
and his opponent has like 3 Deathrat activations.
And there still might be a DK.
Yes, there's still a DK. Yes. Very true.
Yeah, Tim shaking his head.
Understandably.
It's unfortunate.
Understandably.
I think learning is happening.
Yeah, I think he had to kill in terms of pump spells, but just not in time with his threats. What do you think about the position of those 2 decks in the current meta? With so much Grixis Delvers.
I think Infect is fine. It's not amazing. I think it has some bad matchups,
Yes.
but it's a good deck. And Elves is it's so unpredictable. You can run into Zealous Persecutions all day. You can run into Refs all day. It really depends on what you're up against and how people sideboard against you.
Yep. But there's a lot less miracles, so this should be good for Infect. Not for Infect, for Elves.
Yeah, agreed.
Infect didn't have such a bad matchup, I'd say. But yeah,
And there's
one
the
thing I
natural
realized. Oh wow, yeah, 1-1. Nothing what he needed. Discussing some things, but
Playing Elves is so annoying because scooping up your board takes so long.
poor Patrick.
Aw.
So much work.
And both players opting to change their sideboard plans.
Seems so. Maybe some daisies coming back in, or let's see. Oh, he didn't bring in the 4th force. Well,
I wonder what Patrick is deciding to
he
board.
didn't bring in the cage either, I think. Interesting. Oh, that's. I think that's the cage, right?
Yeah,
Crows and grips for.
I understand why you don't really want it, but it can buy you like a few turns.
Yeah, like especially if he has a Korean Ranger, he doesn't get to fetch for Dryad Arbor as well. He doesn't get to Zenith or his Sphinx. He doesn't get to Natural Order. So you shut down like 8 cards or 7 cards probably, and
Yeah, especially good on like the first turn, where you actually shut down the Zenith as well.
Yeah.
Just for natural order,
it's not worth it probably. I agree,
probably
but
not.
because then eventually they will always hardcast the Behemoth when you have the cage in play. So.
Yeah, but it's the same argument we had like in every single discussion at this tournament. I feel it's always the danger of overboarding because you're the combo player.
That's true. That is very true. But I would even go so far as to say you can take out your Glistener elves.
Yeah, I actually
mean-
consider that as well.
The best, on the play maybe not, but on the draw at least, the best case scenario is that you trade for an elf. Or you have to become immense and kill him, okay, but it's susceptible to decay. Plus, it doesn't get through always, and if you don't have to become immense, it's not working, so...
Yeah, it's very easy for the elf player to block, especially with the Wirewood symbiote. It doesn't
Indeed,
really do anything.
very indeed.
He plays 2 Berserks, I think. Yes.
That would be the standard, and he does play 2 Berserk. Yeah. 4 Invigorate, obviously, 2 Berserk, 2 Vines, 1 Become Immense, 1 Blossoming Defense, and that's it. Also, I mean, there's Pendelhaven as well, but that's something different. No Ponders, 3 Probes. 1 Stifle and 1 Pierce.
Bad Stifle, though.
I can win your games.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
I can absolutely win your games.
And there's so much Wastelands here that it's fine playing like
Yep.
1 or 2 main deck.
Yeah, it's so versatile as well in this deck, right? You get to protect your Nexi, or you stifle their mana base, color screw them a bit,
Yeah.
maybe, whatever, to get through with your kill.
Yeah, it's especially cool if you're playing Gitaxian Probe. I don't think I would place Stifle in general in this current metagame.
No.
But if I played it, absolutely only with Gitaxian Probe.
Yes. I usually play 2 probes only, but like the ponders as well. Like to put 2 ponders in there. And I started playing 4 forces and 2 Become Immense.
Yeah.
Because I think Become Immense is just absurdly good.
Yeah, it's a cool card. Not the best Delve card by a long shot, but it's still good.
There are betters, I do agree, but
Well, 2 of them are banned in Legacy.
is it better than Angler though? Because it kills Angler with any creature.
Yes. But
But don't even start it. Don't even start it.
Angler is so good, man.
Angler is very good indeed.
Yeah.
Let's see if he has the elf. If he kept them in, if he's gonna play it.
Even in Vintage, like it's usually Tazigur and not the Angler or a 1-1 split. But
Yep. In Modern as
they're
well, it's
quite a
often
match.
or more Tazigur. I mean, in Legacy, it's clear you
yeah,
don't play it.
and the
because-
reason you play Gormak Angler is to beat Tazigur, right?
Yes, and to beat Garakas.
Yeah, in Legacy,
Yeah.
sure. And the Angler is also better against Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, those are traits versus Smasher, which is quite huge.
Yeah, that's actually the reason I started playing Angler in Vintage in the first place.
Yeah.
Because it trades with Smasher.
Yeah, just 1 for 1, decent.
Yeah, it's amazing value.
Yeah. Wonder if that library is gonna eat to DK.
So we saw a green Sun Synod on the first turn that got dazed. Am I right?
Yes. Now he has his forest. He has a Bayou there, I think, and I saw DK. He quickly showed his hand to the camera.
You DK'd the library here?
That's what I was asking. I would say yes, but I'm...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dim has already gone through like a good chunk of his hand. So killing the library is probably quite good. But
Yeah.
on the other side, the Elves player has no board yet. So he probably
Yes.
wants to spend the turn developing his board. I
Yeah, and
think.
then you DK the threat. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. Other
Curious
point
to
is
see what
if he
Patrick will be
just
doing.
puts Enigma Nexus next turn, then you look kind of screwed if you let him have the library. So
Yeah, it's true. It's tricky.
Difficult spot.
Patrick is going through the same thought process as we are. And apparently he's deciding to go for the
Yeah, it's gonna.
board development.
He's probably right. Oh, there's another base.
Oh, cool. That was actually a bait, I think. Because if he wanted to resolve the Ranger, he would have played the Bayou first.
Yes.
Now he can play Bayou and probably Deathrite Shaman, I would assume.
Yeah, but he's gonna play the Dryad Arbor.
Oh, Dryad Arbor. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, in all seriousness, he's not under any pressure. And maybe he doesn't want to get wastelanded as well, like off the black, because he wants the white Surs to do
I can imagine he wants to slow roll the Bayou.
Yeah.
And Quirion Ranger would have obviously protected it from wasteland.
True. That's so annoying. If you ever wastelanded a forest with a Quirion Ranger on his side of the table, you just feel so bad.
Yeah, it's the same with Byroot Symbiote. You
Yes.
just have to bolt it, you can't do it. It's like a mother of runes with extra value.
Okay, let's see. Is there any infect guy? Infect guy? Nope, but there's the cage.
There's the cage. Cool. But again, probably no creature in his hand.
But he has a crop he has a crop rotation, so he can find the nexus and step.
That's cool. And actually, Patrick is not going to expect that, I think.
No, and he's not going.
But it's not lethal yet, right? I don't think yes. Wow. That's so dangerous.
Yeah, that
It
really
looks so
ugly.
innocent.
Yeah,
but it could be a bait as well. I mean,
but he doesn't have the. There's one blue card, I think.
I want to see a really big turn.
Definitely needs it, I think, to win the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
but I don't
starts
think
rather well.
he's going to die on the next turn, right?
It's true.
Another
And there's
days.
the days.
Wow. So no crop rotation. Why don't you just daze the glimpse? Because Patrick still gets to draw a card
Yeah.
out of the heritage.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, he still stifles the turn, but he gives him an extra card.
Yeah, without the daze, that would have been quite a big turn, I think. Because the Cradle would have gotten 2 mana, so 1 more elf, 1 more draw.
Yeah, and it just wins. No,
But I
don't
still feel like he's
waste
in a good position. What do you think?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Owen Wilson coming back in. Wow.
Oh, wow. Should have taken the
Brainstorm.
fetch land there.
Uh,
Or, okay, he goes crop rotation probably anyway, so.
yeah, I
But-
guess. Probably Brainstorm crop rotation, actually.
No, he has 2 lands on top. Why would you brainstorm
Actually-
into 2 lands?
Yeah, I would have taken the fetch land.
Yes. Played the fetch land, brainstormed, and then crop rotated. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would have been my line of play.
And if I'm not mistaken, he even has a foot tilt, so I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Feel like, yeah, the clock is ticking very fast for him.
Yeah, especially with the Cradle now.
And the Vireward Symbiote. If he
Yeah.
finds
Cradle Symbiote and still a full hand that can get
yes.
out of hand quite quickly.
What a word play, Jonas. So handsome always.
Oh, stop it. And there's the second heritage raid. Nice.
Which is not really doing much yet, but
It's...
it ought to do quite a bit. For those who don't know what the card does, this one little green mana elf allows you to tap 3 untapped elves you control. They can be summoning sick, since it's not a tapping symbol, which is used to tap the guys. And then you add 3 green mana. This can lead to a lot of elves in 1 turn on the table.
Yeah, basically every elf that costs 1 mana is kind of free. Oh, DK. I think we're going to see a Green Sun Zenith here.
Funny, never thought
it eventually would hit the graph digger's cage, but it
Yeah, me neither.
actually did.
But it's quite clear that Tim doesn't have a blighted agent, and
Yeah.
DK does nothing against the
The Inkmon Nexus,
yeah.
obviously. True. I think I would like to have seen the Infect player abuse the library a bit more. I mean, I understand that you don't want to get under quick clock, but
Yeah, but you can afford to like
I
activate
think like once,
maybe twice.
once or twice, especially in the beginning, if you don't have the cards you want and you don't get to fetch away, then just draw cards to get deeper, even if it's
Sure.
not the cards you want.
The score is wrong, I just realized. Now we saw the crop rotation
Yeah.
as expected,
Pyro had to stay.
and with
That's
the
got
library
score.
he might actually threaten lethal on the next turn.
Shot?
But we will have to see what he draws.
Yeah.
I'm still confused why he didn't just play the brainstorm and the fetch land, because he really wants to kill him on this turn, if possible. Because the board of Patrick is like developing quite quickly at the moment. So getting another free brainstorm would have been amazing.
Double force in the land. I don't think that what he's looking for. Or is it double force? I think it's an elf, right?
No, I think it's a blue card.
Okay.
Either way, it's not what he wants to see.
No.
He probably
He
needs
wants double
to
invigorate.
fetch brainstorm.
All
Yeah,
he wants
double
is
invigorate.
double invigorate.
It's exactly what he wants.
It's funny how oh,
Is there an issue?
did they
Oh,
did,
yeah,
did he
the-
touch?
It's not brainstorm. It's yeah. Patrick is just making sure that.
That he doesn't. So now he draws 3 cards.
Yeah, it's a little late for that, but you basically have to at this point to right.
It's okay. I mean, it gives him the force. It gives him a brainstorm for 3 fresh cards.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, Invigorate is the card which defines kind of this Infect deck. It's what makes the deck really good, I would say.
Yeah, most definitely.
Please cast that
All the
brainstorm.
other pump spells are just way too fair.
I agree, and I would definitely go for the brainstorm there to find the Invigorates. I think.
He needs to find 2.
Yeah, the Invigorates. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I said plural. I think, but you wouldn't have brainstormed there. I think he's scared that he doesn't find a second blue card for force and gets killed now, but
I think it's fine and
Ouch.
exactly waiting for the Thoughtseize. So he probably has to brainstorm in response,
yes.
because otherwise he loses the brainstorm. But this is just to get rid of the force. I think we're going to see like a natural order.
Yeah. How many cards are there left in his hand? 2?
Just 2. One of them is
Okay.
a visionary, but he can visionary twice, so it's like 3 unknown cards. Show me what you got. Bye bye, force. Bye bye.
If he takes the force, he has to kill. If he doesn't take the force, he probably doesn't have to kill.
I think you take the force anyway,
You take it anyway?
probably.
There might be an argument
If
for
he-
Blighted
if he-
Agent, but
He can deal 3 damage in combat, like almost for sure. So he knows he can't die on the next turn. Almost impossible. Only if it's double invigorate and the probe finds the second invigorate, which is quite unlikely.
It's true.
But I think you're taking the force and hoping for a kill of the Elvish Visionary.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Just giving it a long thought though. Again, the finger tipping. Does he play the piano? You know that.
Quite confident he doesn't.
Okay.
But you would have to ask Marius.
So, as to the contrary to what we announced, it's a really long game or a long match.
Yeah.
Most people are already finished. And usually it doesn't get that grindy, but as we see, it definitely can.
Yeah. In fact, just didn't find the unblockable clock fast enough. So that's why the games tend to go.
Yeah, especially off a library turn 2, it's also a bit unlucky, I would say. But
yeah. Agreed. And also we saw like 6 daisies in 3 games, something along these lines. So that's what slowed down the games.
Yeah, they didn't impress me at all, to be honest.
No.
I mean, the one with the glimpse there was necessary, like either on the glimpse or probably shouldn't, but anyway, it held him back on the heritage trade.
Ironically, the one in the first game was probably the worst, but he still won that game.
Yeah,
and Patrick actually opted to go for the Gitaxian probe to ensure that he's not going to die to double invigorate off the top.
Going real deep, this guy, right?
Yeah. It's very methodical play. And he might be able to actually force out the force on this turn, so he gets rid of his entire hand basically anyways.
Yeah. It's possible.
Going for the Arbor to get one more creature.
I mean,
probably going for a natural order to take the force.
So Brainstorm will be kind of the only out he has. Brainstorm into double invigorate. Everything else is.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes here from Patrick. Costs 1 mana. Okay. Sentinel.
He's not opting for the attack.
Crater Hoof,
which
probably.
Is interesting.
Don't you think?
This means that the library can be used to draw another card on the next turn. Which probably doesn't matter, but I'm still considering it here. Heritage
You just
Druid.
wanted to find to kill, right?
And Heritage Druid can attack again. There you go.
Doesn't attack with the symbiote. Why?
He probably values the life of the symbiote above the risk of dying on the next turn of the additional draw of the library.
But like the only way he could have killed the symbiote is by blocking with Inkman Nexus, which would be completely okay, no?
Agreed. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe it's summoning sick and I didn't get it, but I think not. I'm pretty sure.
It was end of turn crop rotation the turn before.
No, I mean the symbiote.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. And 3 fresh cards. Let's see. Oh.
Not invigorate, not invigorate. Well played by Patrick.
And that's it. Wow.
Did you expect that outcome?
Not at all.
I don't think you did.
No, not at all. And I think we didn't see overboarding per se, but like he drew a lot of counter spells. But
yeah, I think he was scared of a really fast combo kill from Patrick.
Yeah, which you should be because you are the faster or the more consistent faster combo deck, I'd say. No,
The infect?
You're consistently faster, I would say, but no, you're not more consistent in general. That's kind of what I want to say.
Yeah. The trade-off is the elf player is not that susceptible to like spot removal.
Yeah, exactly.
Counter magic.
Yes. Or
But
discard it for that matter.
In a gold fishing scenario, you're probably slightly slower, not even taking into account that the infect player has force of will.
Yes.
So yeah, Patrick convincingly winning an unfavorable matchup.
Yep, definitely doing a good job there.
Quite happy to see him.
Very good job.
He's a really good player and deserves to be in a high seeded rank.
I do agree. Yeah, and he almost always plays elves as well, right? Or a lot at least. I saw him the few times I saw him play Legacy. I think he played elves.
No, his most played deck was, I think, Death and Texas. And he was like, I talked to him before, and he was like, well, I got an elf deck, and it's a cool deck. There you go.
Nice. Right, guys, we're gonna be back in a minute. Just quick with some technical break for round 6. So already the second last round coming up. Stay tuned here for the Lock and Load 3K Legacy, organized by Gameplays. Talk to you in a bit. So I just learned we have Patrick for a quick interview, short winners interview. So while people are gathering for the pairings, so it won't take too long, but we're gonna grab a quick moment with him.
Auf Englisch oder auf Deutsch?
English.
English, okay.
So we have Patrick with us, the Elves player from before. First off, congratulations, Patrick.
Thank you very much.
Great games there. How do you feel winning this probably rather unfavorable matchup for you?
Exciting and exhausted.
Exciting and exhausted.
Yes.
We saw you. How do you feel about the games? What was like?
I was definitely lucky. The matchup is not good, and I also made a misplay at the last turn, where I only attacked with the Heritage Tree. I should have attacked
not with the Wire Symbiote.
To deny him a draw with the Sylvan Library.
Yes, do agree.
I didn't want to lose my symbiote because it shuts off my whole engine with Visionary, but it was a mistake. At that point,
he would have sacrificed his Inquinexus for it, which would have been great for you, I think.
Yeah, I also think so. So, and it's hard to play because it's really it's a psychological battle.
Yeah.
You always have to think about what he has in hand, what he can draw, especially with the library.
Yes.
Because any combination of Invigorate, Berserk, or Invigorate and Minds of Vastu is lethal, so it was quite hard. And you also have to represent sometimes that you have maybe something, so it's pretty
I agree,
tough.
rather difficult, and both decks kind of can have just a nuts draw and kill you by turn 2, or it can go the other way.
Yes. And it was also quite difficult to change the sideboarding on the play on the draw. It also depends quite a lot.
It's not easy, I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Cool. I have one question for you left.
Yep.
Why didn't you DK the library right away? Did you want to protect your Bayou? It was game 2, I think. Was it game 3?
It was a Graph Digger's Cage and a Sylvan Library on
the but the library came later, and I think the cage came later, and I think you already had the DK.
Yeah. All right.
You have.
I think I have to play, but
yes. Good luck further.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
So we're gonna be back just shortly.
Players are taking seats, and we're gonna grab the deck list.